All right.
Great evening, everyone. We have 9:04 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is Nakia O'Shea. Happy Wednesday. Thank you all for taking some time out of your evening and your day. Spend some time with us. I want to put a thought on your mind. Think about this. There are two types of broke people in America: money broke or time broke. Which one are you? We're going to have a conversation tonight. And as Coach said, if you don't have any background noise, I'd love for you to take yourself off mute. If you do have background noise, then by all means, please remain on mute. The young man that's going to bring the information to us tonight, he knows 100% of the facts. He loves to hang out at two places. That's the beach or the bank. He will show you tonight how that you can have time freedom plus financial freedom. And we all have families and we have problems in our families, but money does not have to be one. This young man will show you how to leave a will for your family and not a bill. He is a documented six-figure income earner. He has been in this industry for over 20 years. He is a master trainer, mentor, but you all know him as the people's coach. He is a young man that has been able to donate his job back to the economy before he was 45 years old. So I'd like to introduce to some, but present to others, Mr. Sonic Jones. Mr. Jones, can you hear me, sir?
Man, I can hear you. I thank you so much for that kind and warm introduction. It's good to see all the smiling faces on camera. I appreciate everybody that's here and interacting with us. But before I start, I do want to send a major thank you for those that may not know. That's Nakia O'Shea. Just a champion in this industry. And what's weird is she's only been in this industry for just a few years, which we consider her a newbie. But in that time period, man, she is. I've watched her in every company that we've been in together hit the door running, hit major rank. She's a platinum here at Green Organics. But low key, and we're going to talk about how to set up and your accounts and things like that. She's actually a diamond, but we have multiple accounts, and we're gonna talk about that today. So thank you so much, Nakia O'Shea Ray. Y'all give us some love in the chat for that. We're gonna just kind of get started with some training today. For those that are new to our call, Coach's Corner, first of all, welcome to you. We try to do things a little bit differently here. Want to be a little bit interactive. And with that being said, being labeled the people's coach and things like that. These trainings, I wanted to cater to the people, and this week's training is coming courtesy of the one and only Patriot himself, Mr. Tommy Waldron. Thank you so much, Tommy, for all that you've been doing for the company, and you know what, for me personally as well. I appreciate that. You reached out last week asking me a question, and I said, you know what, let's go ahead and let's frame that for the next training. And so I appreciate your patience in waiting for the answer, sir. But I had touched on a prior training how you can leave your business in your will. You can pass on because you own, this is a business that you own, and it's so different than a job. And so we're going to frame tonight's training around that and add a few sprinkles of things in there as well, just to give you guys an overview. Now, I did take some time to prep some notes, and I did it in a PowerPoint form because I know some of y'all are visual learners. And anybody out there just like visuals, prefer visuals? Okay, got a few hands up. Thank you for y'all being muted still, but it's all good. Y'all are gonna learn one day. I'm gonna start calling on y'all individually. But let's go ahead and let's share screens and let me get confirmation that y'all can share that y'all can see the screen, please. Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So you guys see we're going to talk about running your business as a business, ladies and gentlemen. And I do want to, let me put a disclaimer out, first disclaimer tonight. You may not feel like this training is for you for whatever reason, but I promise you the information is going to be useful for you. If not today, in your future, ladies and gentlemen. And if not for you, for somebody that you may run into. So with that being said, let's kind of talk about a few things. And let me just minimize my screen over here so I can see the entire screen. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's kind of talk about what happens when you pass on. Here's the reality. When you pass away and you have a job, the money stops coming in. You are replaced probably within about 2 weeks' time, and your income that was coming in is replaced as well. There's not many jobs out here that continue to pay you when you are no longer here and no longer working. But here's the reality, and the great thing is we are all also in business, ladies and gentlemen. When you have your green organics business, and you pass away, that doesn't mean that the money stops. Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful thing about owning a business is that your money continues to come in. And so I want to really concentrate on that because, again, the business can live on even when you don't. Now, can anybody tell me who these three individuals are on the screen? Anybody know?
Ray Kroc is one of them.
Ray Kroc,
Yeah, I'll put some clues in. Ray Kroc is the first person. Anybody else?
Oh.
Sam Walton.
Oh, good. Somebody's picking up on some context clues. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Well,
I don't
the
know.
first individual is Ray Kroc, ladies and gentlemen, and he is the owner and founder of McDonald's. All right. Now, the second individual is Henry Ford. He is the owner and founder of the Ford Motor Company. And then, as we said, the last individual that you see on your screen is Sam Walton, and he is the owner and founder of Walmart. Now, does anybody here happen to patronize either McDonald's, Ford Motors, or Walmart?
All three.
all three.
Absolutely.
Have it at one time, yes.
Yeah, I think we all do, have done different things like that, right?
Walmart is my best friend though.
That part right there.
Wally World is quite a few best friends to quite a few.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Walmart.
Now here's the thing. What do these three individuals have in common? Well, they are, again, all owners and founders. And here's the other thing that they have in common is they are no longer here on this earth.
Right.
But has anybody
I'll be in
does
a
anybody
little
still
bit,
go to
boo.
McDonald's? I know we don't want to necessarily admit that, but
I do.
Let's
Got the
just
app
say
on
that
my phone. I ain't gonna lie.
McDonald's, they're still making money to this day, right? Ford Motor Company, they're still making money to this day as well. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely. And your best friend in Walmart, some of y'all were in there today. I think I was as well.
I was in there today.
See, exactly. And so even though they have passed away, their businesses are still here and their businesses are still making money, ladies and gentlemen. So here's what they all mastered and understood. Let's kind of go through some business 101. Just go for a few points, ladies and gentlemen. They learned and mastered, number one, to build a team. Every single one of those companies has a team as a part of their corporation. They've also learned how to have a duplicatable system. We all know we walk into McDonald's, the fry machine is on the left, the shake machine is usually on the right and broken, right? But it's a duplicatable system. It is in every McDonald's, whether you are in New York, Atlanta, or China, ladies and gentlemen.
And
right?
Hawaii.
And Hawaii, absolutely. They also understood they needed to grow their team and franchise. Okay, so there's franchises for every single Ford Motors and Walmarts. They're all over the country, and some of these businesses all over the world. And by doing those things, they've created what I told you I want you to master, and that's those magical 5 words. Again, the first one is a compound word that for my teachers in here, Ms. Tiara Moore: long-term, sustainable, residual income. See, their businesses are still making money even long after they're gone. And so they understand this. If the team keeps growing, that money keeps flowing. Anybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. So the question is, how does this relate to you? Very simple, ladies and gentlemen. See, the beautiful thing about our business, that is, as long as your team keeps growing, or at least sustaining, and your auto ship continues, meaning your account continues to be active, the company will keep paying you even after you're gone, ladies and gentlemen. Now, This allows those earnings to outlive you and then be passed on once you pass on. Now, there's a good book that says, you know, the wise man is, they leave an inheritance for their children's children, right? And so we want to be in position where we can do that. And the best way to do that is to actually have your own business. Now, here's the industry statistic is that when most people join a network marketing company, they join as an individual. What does that mean? Well, they sign up with their name, their social security, their address, and their phone number and their birthday. They join as an individual, but that leaves 12% of the population that join network marketing companies as a business. Why is that important for you to know? Well, first of all, and let me just say, it's perfectly fine. It is absolutely perfectly fine if you signed up as an individual. Again, the majority of the world has done this, okay? But if you sign up as a business, the company pays the business, and then technically, the business is in charge of paying you. Now, this is going to be important for individuals that are on disability and different things like that. And we'll dive into this a little bit more, but I want you to understand that there are different ways that you can actually sign up. You can sign up as an individual and you can sign up as a business. Now, let me put this disclaimer out, ladies and gentlemen. You should absolutely seek out the help, knowledge, and expertise of a certified tax professional, tax lawyer, an estate planner, estate or probate attorney, or more, as relates to the information that I'm about to go into. I am none of these, okay? I'm gonna make it perfectly clear. You actually do not need to change anything in your business if you choose not to. But I wanted to give you this information so that you have it. And again, this is for informational purposes only. So we want to put out this disclaimer to let you know. Now, I just want to give you some tips on how you can structure and or protect yourself and your business if you were set up like that. The first thing that I'm going to suggest that you do, especially with you being in green organics, is set up what we call a POD. Now, as you see on the screen, that simply means payable on death. And what it is, it's an arrangement that you can make with your bank, your financial institution, to designate a beneficiary to your bank account or your CDs or whatever have you. What this means is, God forbid something happens to you, whoever you designate as a POD can actually walk into the bank and then say, we need the money. This is important, especially if you're set up as an individual and not a business, because you know your money's being passed on to your bank, but you want your loved ones, whoever you want to set up as a beneficiary, to still be able to access money to pay bills or whatever the case is. So you can go into any bank and tell them you want to set up a POD. It's free, it's fast to set up, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of a blurred graphic, but again, just wanted to go over. Again, it just stands for payable on death. And again, you could walk into any bank and just let them know you want to set up a POD. They're going to ask you who the beneficiary is. You'll fill out a form, put it down, whether it be your loved one, whether it be your children, whoever it is. And God forbid, when something happens to you, they can walk into your bank with their ID and still gain access to the money. Now, some of you say, well, why would I want to do that? Because it's not the bank's money. And if you don't do it, the bank is going to keep your money. Let's just keep it real. So I'd rather it go, or you should rather it go as well, to someone you designate as opposed to the bank, where they're just going to take your money and continue making money from you. And that's not fair. That's money that you work for and that you earn. So my first suggestion that I want to teach everybody is, if you don't know, and I didn't know this for a while, and a lot of the stuff that we're going to go over, I honestly did not know until my mother passed away in 2011. And I really had to start doing a lot of digging and soul searching because I was the executive of the state. But you can go into your bank and set up what we call a POD, ladies and gentlemen. That's the first thing that that's the first tip that I want to be able to share. Now, we talked about that you can join the business as an individual, but you can also set up your business as a business. And there's a few different types of business. And on the screen, you're going to see three: sole proprietorship, corporation, and what we call an LLC, or limited liability company. Now, again, I just wanted to educate you, ladies and gentlemen, because Some of you never heard of this stuff. Some of you are very familiar with it, and that's great. But you don't teach it. We don't share it with individuals. And so I want you to understand that there are options out there for you and some benefits for you to either do this or don't do this. And again, either one is totally okay. But I wanted you to have the knowledge and information. You can have a sole proprietorship, which is basically you owning a business, and it can have one, or if you're married, you can have two owners. Well, the great thing about a sole proprietorship is you don't have to now do you don't have to do two separate tax returns. You could do one tax return and just kind of file, your personal and business together. But the downside of a sole proprietorship is if anybody ever wanted to sue your company, your personal assets can become liable as well. All right. Now, corporation, there's different types of corporations. There's C Corps, S Corps, different things like that. And again, that's just an independent legal entity that separates your personal assets from your business assets. Okay. It says the C Corp is the most common kind, but it's complicated to set up, or it can be. And your profits are actually taxed twice. Okay. And so we want you to be aware of that. Then you also have what we call the LLC. And the LLC is probably, for most people, a better alternative than setting up a C Corp or S Corp, where you can have, it could be yourself just in the LLC, or you can have multiple members in the LLC. But the difference between the sole proprietorship and the LLC is if somebody wanted to sue you or sue your company, it offers that liability protection personally, so they can't ever get to any of your personal things. All right. And as you see, when it comes to taxes, you could choose to treat the company as a corporation or through a pass-through entity. Again, this is why I said earlier, always consult a tax attorney and different things like that. Now, I want to be clear. For most people, setting up a sole proprietorship is perfect. It's the best. It's the cheapest way. It's the fastest way. You can actually, get this done tomorrow in a day. You don't need a lot of complicated things that you got to go through. You can just go get what we call a business certificate from your local state courthouse, and you can file for EIN. We're going to go through that in a second. But it's the simplest for most people to set up. And the great thing about our business, ladies and gentlemen, is we're not in a business where people are coming after us. Nobody's going to sue you for an oil or anything like that. And Green Organics, they have their own guarantees. They back up everything else. They have 60-day money back guarantees. So nobody would come sue you personally for anything like that. So sole proprietorship is a great opportunity to set up your business and run it as a business. And it's a very cheap alternative, and it's very uncomplicated. All right. But you're going to, like I said, set your business up as a business. If you choose to do so, you're going to choose which of these entities may be best for you. And there's others. There's nonprofits and things like that, but we don't want to really get into all of that tonight. All right. Next thing you can do is get your EIN number, and you can do that ASAP, like tonight. Literally going to irs.gov and getting your free EIN, or another word for it is tax ID number. This is the social security number for your business. Okay. So if you were to sign up to Green Organics again, and we'll talk about why you may or may not want to do that. You don't have to. But if you wanted to transfer your personal into a business account, you can do that. Instead of using your social security, you can use your EIN tax ID number. And again, that is free. There are people out here and sites out here that will try to charge you for an EIN number. Please do not go for it. You can go to irs.gov, which is the government site. It is absolutely free. And with those two things, like a business certificate and your tax ID number, your EIN number, you can walk into pretty much any bank and open up a business banking account. And this will allow you to do business legally in your business name, as well as get paid as the business. And it's also going to allow separation for tax purposes and major tax benefits, which we'll get ready to go into. Tanya, I see your hand up. If you could just do me a quick favor and just hold the question. I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to go through this stuff. So just kind of jot it down so we can remember it. All right. So why do I want to set up a business? Well, first of all, when you have a business, even if you're set up as an individual, guys, you guys are open to some major tax deductions. That's one of the beauties of being in a business. If you were to consult any certified tax professional, ladies and gentlemen, The most qualified will always tell you that a home-based business is the best tax strategy that anyone could ever have because it opens up so many different more tax deductions. Why? Because there's two tax systems in America. There's one for individuals and there's one for businesses. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. The tax structure is set up for businesses to give businesses different legal deductions. And here on the right side, you'll see just some sample deductions. This is by no means a exclusive list right here, but you'll be able to write off, ladies and gentlemen, everything from, advertisement and promotions. That means your business cards, additional websites, or different things you may own, all your auto expenses. So you got to repair your car. Guess what? It's a company car. So those of you, a lot of you ordered magnets from me at xfprinting.com. Hey, great. That makes that now you are advertising, and that makes your business, your vehicle, a business vehicle, ladies and gentlemen. You get to write off mileage and different things like that, bank fees. If you go to ATM, sometimes ATM will charge you fees for using a different ATM. Those become tax deductions that when we talked about getting your business certificate, or if you're setting up LLCs or you have yearly, all of that becomes a tax write-off. Any dues and subscriptions, ladies and gentlemen, what does that mean? Well, guess what? That means to maintain our business, we have a monthly volume requirement. Now it's as low as 5 BV, which is like $7.95 for GoDasana. But again, that becomes that's the cost of doing business, right? So any products that you're ordering or whatever, guess what? Automatic tax write-off, event costs. Some of you guys are coming down to Orlando. If you're not coming down, you registered for virtual. Well, guess what? That's a business write-off as well. Traveling, if you're traveling to these different locations, these are tax write-off. Like, it just makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. So I just wanted to give some education for those that may not know. Having a business is the best tax strategy that you can have, because you basically get to write off your life. And yes, on a prior Coach's Corner and the prior Zoom, I told you, yes, you can write off your, a portion of your rent or mortgage. You can write off, your dogs and cats. Why? Because your dog is called Kate. That's the security system for my home. And I don't care if you got a big dog like me or you got a little dog. And I'll tell you, this is how I learned this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna just give you a quick story. When I got into the travel profession over 10 years ago, the gentleman actually got me in because he said, Sonic, you can write your dog off. I said, what do you mean? Like don't have me going to jail, tax jail, especially. I'm way too handsome for that. He said, no, it's called canine security for your business. I said, what are you talking about? He says, well, when you ring my bell and come over here, what do you hear? I said, he said, exactly. He said, that's the security system. I said, Greg, you got a 10-pound. Sorry about that. Somebody muted me. You have a 10-pound chihuahua. Like, how is that security system? He told me, he's like, listen, that protects my business. And I looked it up because, again, I'm way too handsome to be going to jail. He was absolutely correct, ladies and gentlemen. That is your security system. And again, it don't matter if it's a 100-pound dog, like a Rottweiler like mine, or you got a 10-pound chihuahua. Yeah, that means the cost of the dog, the grooming, and the food, the vet bills, all of that becomes a write-off. Sonic, you mentioned cats. I got a cat. How can I write my cat off? That's called rodent control for your business, ladies and gentlemen. See, again, I need you to understand that these tax laws were created for business owners, and they allow you to get creative with the tax write-offs that we have. And it's legal. It's 100% legal. So owning a business, you being here, is one of the best things that you can actually do. But when you set up your business as a business, it just provides you more structure and separation and things like that for your tax write-offs, ladies and gentlemen. So again, some continued tips. Number one, again, you can sign up as an individual with your name and social, or you can sign up as a business with your business name and your EIN. And yes, the question, can it be switched? Yes, you can. Can I have more than one account? Yes, you can. I have multiple. We'll talk about that after the recording. All right. Again, personal setup, you just keep it in, it'll be in your name. As we said, just make sure that people, and this is for you, Tommy, for that question, if you set up personally, and you're worried about leaving access to your account because the business will still continue to pay you, just make sure that people have access to your account. People have access to your payways, meaning your pay quicker or whatever the case is. And when I say account, I mean to like your Green Organics account. And then they have access to your bank account. They're set up for your as a POD and everything else. And again, as long as your auto ship continues, your money will continue to pour in. Because here's the reality. Let's just, if something happened to, let's I don't know. Let's put Tommy. Tommy, I'm gonna put you on the spot only because you asked this question. Tommy, I know you signed up. Kanasha, you signed with quite a few other people, and April and everything like that. So here's the reality: if something happened to you, they're not going to stop doing their business. So your money will continue to grow, and you want to make sure that your loved ones, your family, and everybody else has complete access to this stuff. So this is how you can do this. So if you set up personally with your name, make sure that the people have access to your account, your payways, and your bank account. And if you're set up as a business, ladies and gentlemen, you put the business under your business name. Again, you sign it with the EIN number, and it should be designed. The business is designed to outlive you, and it can be willed to your loved ones or set up as a trust or both. Now, what does that mean? What is a trust? What is a will? I'm so glad you asked this question. All right. That being said, let's kind of talk about wills and trusts and different things like that. So a will is a set of instructions, ladies and gentlemen, that you leave for what is to happen after your demise, okay? And it can include everything from whether you choose to be embalmed, whether you want to be buried, whether you want to be cremated, music that you want played at a funeral, if that's the case. But it also designates what happens to your belongings. I want to give, my wedding ring to my daughter, such and such, or what have you. So you can put all of that in your will, right? Now, here's the thing with a will. It's got to go through what we call probate, and we'll talk about that on the next slide. And it can be challenged. What does that mean? We've all heard stories where, somebody has set up some information or some stuff in their will, and then all of a sudden they pass away and some family members come and claim that was my daddy and I am entitled to their money. Or it's like, so a will can actually be challenged in court. You're more than likely going to need to hire a probate lawyer. I know I did when my mother passed away. And the everything has to actually be approved by a judge. But with a trust, what a trust is, it can provide peace of mind that all of your assets, and that could be as much or as little as you have, whether it be money in the bank, whether it be land that you own, your home, or whatever the case is, they're going to be managed and distributed as you intend. All right, and it also offers some different tax efficiencies in some cases as well. There's different types of trust. You have living trust, testamentary trust, revocable trust, irrevocable trust. But with the trust, ladies and gentlemen, as you see on the right-hand side of your screen, while I told you the will is going to have to go through probate and everything, the trust avoids probate. It offers protection against court challenges, so they cannot challenge your will or your trust, I should say. It can avoid conservatorship or different things like that. And while a will is open and it's public record, your trust is private record and it's confidential. So whatever you have in there, nobody can see except for who you designate. All right. Now, can I do one? Can I do the other? Can I do both? The question is yes, yes, and yes. You can do whatever you want. And you don't have to do anything. You could just, you could leave everybody to go for broke, go for themselves. I don't care. I'm not here no more. It's totally up to you. But we're talking about being responsible and things like that. So with that said, you can do both. I actually have both. Now, I wanted to kind of clarify what probate is, because again, I didn't know any of this stuff before my mother passed away and I was the executor of her estate. But probate is actually a legal process that occurs when a person passes away, and it involves that validation and administration of their will. And it has to go through the court. You appoint, somebody as an executive, and they sometimes will have to post bond. They're going to, like I said, maybe have to hire a probate lawyer. And then the judge has got to say, okay, well, you got to notify the creditors, and, you got to pay out, whoever says is paid. And they got to, that person has to prepare the tax filings and then distribute the estate. Like it's a process, ladies and gentlemen, but it's a necessary process on what has to happen. So again, this is for educational purposes, because I didn't have anybody to guide this, guide me through this stuff, but I want you guys to know responsible things on what to do for something if something happens to you. Now, which one again do you want for your family? Again, with a will, you're gonna have to get the probate attorney. It could take a year or two for everything to actually get distributed, based on just having a will. Again, it's open to the public and different things like that. You guys can kind of see, screenshot, or watch the replay, whatever you want to do. Just to kind of want to have to go through every single thing. But it can be expensive and things like that. But with a living trust, ladies and gentlemen, there's no attorneys. Court doesn't control anything. You don't have to go through probate. There's no conservators, there's no delays, everything can happen instantaneously. So there's some advantages for having one or just the trust as well. All right. Now I'm gonna let me go back really quick and let me pause before I do this. It's actually on a prior slide, but I'm not going to go back through the slide. I just wanted to talk about this. When we talked about setting up your business as a business versus an individual, some of us have ran into situations where we ask, or the individual said, well, I would like to join your business, but I'm on disability and I can't make certain amount of money. Does anybody, I see Miriam shaking her head. Anybody heard that one before? Anybody ever experienced anything like that? Yeah, a lot of us, when you're talking to people,
Yes.
we're gonna run across these types of things. So, but I just wanted to let you know again, if I just teach people, it's very simple to set up a business. Your Social Security, your disability, or whatever the case is coming to you, the individual. When I set up a business and I put it through Green Organics with a tax ID number and the business name, the business is getting paid. I'm not getting paid. I want y'all to understand that. That's important for, so now you can educate individuals. Oh no, there's still ways for you to join this business and make all the money you want. And, at the end of the day, when it's tax time, if they're set up as a sole proprietorship or LLC, whatever the case is, it's very simple where, listen, if the business made $50,000, and I'm going to say, well, the business only paid me $500 for the year. That's what the business paid me. It doesn't affect, the money that you got coming in from other things. So again, education, this is good for not just you or your family, but now you know how to address different situations when it comes to business, because we're all going to go through it. All right. Let me see if there's anything else that I missed really quick. Okay, so that being said, we're getting ready to wrap this up, but secrets of the wealthy and educated, ladies and gentlemen. I found this out because, I changed my circle. I started associating with, 6 and 7 figure earners because I wanted to be one. They say birds of a feather flock together, right? So here's a secret that I learned that I'm going to, and it's an advanced thing, but I'm going to educate you and share this with you. This is what a lot of wealthy and educated individuals do. They own a business, and so they take their business, ladies and gentlemen, and they establish a personal property trust. The house that they have, and whether this is paid off or not, they put their house in a land trust. And in all of their assets, their money in the bank, CDs, all of that stuff, they put that in a separate personal property trust. Then what do? They turn around and then they put the living trust as a beneficiary for those 3 trusts. So their living trust becomes the beneficiary for the business trust, the land trust, and the personal property trust for their money. And then they are the beneficiary of their living trust. What that does is that sets them up where they own nothing, but they control everything. Some of this is going to have to sink into y'all later because this is super advanced. But I just want you to know when you start seeing, man, there's people that, how do they just get over? How do they maintain generational wealth? what are some of the secrets of the rich and the famous and, the edge? I just wanted to let you guys know, this, ladies and gentlemen, is one of those tricks. And what this equals is absolutely no lawsuits. There's no liability. There's no probate. They get to keep all their money in-house. It's designated as they wish. You can update and control your trust as you wish, as you're alive. Again, there's a revocable trust and irrevocable trust. But they don't own anything. They don't own the house. They don't own the money in the bank. And so the tax purpose it's amazing. When you really, like I said, I don't want to go through all of this right now, but again, just to kind of wet your whistle and let you understand, there's ways that you can get set up, ladies and gentlemen, especially by you owning a business, that you could position yourself to really begin to lead that generational wealth. So with that being said, I want to thank y'all, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me the opportunity to educate y'all on some of the different ways that you can set yourself up as a business as opposed to just an individual, and educate your future and current business partners as well. That being said, we're going to stop this, not stop the recording, but I want to stop sharing the screen. And I know some of y'all had some questions, and some of y'all was typing away in the chat while I couldn't even see the chat. So Tanya, you want to unmute yourself and go ahead and ask a question?
Okay, so I have a two-part question because I do have an LLC with my massage and I already have an EIN number. Can I do a sole proprietorship with Green Organics? Or
Yes,
should I use the one I already have?
It would be totally your choice. But the answer to, can I set up a separate sole proprietorship? You absolutely can. You can own multiple businesses and multiple companies. Now, when you have, if you try to do multiple sole proprietorships, I have seen where they try to limit you to say, and they've done this with me. And I think, Marion, they did this with you as well, where they say you using that one EIN, even though you have multiple sole proprietorships, multiple businesses. If you have different LLCs and corporations, then you can get multiple EIN numbers.
Okay.
When I first launched my company, and this is just transparency, my first company came about as a result of my first network marketing company, and that was in the telecommunications field. And so I wound up calling it Platinum Communications. And so I set up Platinum Communications as that. Then I went back into the entertainment field, and I wanted to start Platinum Entertainment, and then I wound up changing companies to X-Fact Entertainment. Well, when I went to IRS, they was like, yeah, you can have all the businesses you want, but you're going to use that same EIN. So I set all of mine up as sole proprietorships, personally, because again, I was young, it was cheap, it was fast, and everything else, and they have served me well all of these years. So, but to answer your question, yes, you can go get it, a sole proprietorship. You can get a separate EIN, and if you wanted to use that for Green Organics, you absolutely can.
Okay, because like I said, I have my massage business under an LLC.
Got you. Okay.
And so if I can separate them like that and do the sole proprietorship, because that's why I didn't do the massage under sole proprietorship, because of the legal stuff with being sued. But see, I don't hurt people though. But that's a thing. So that's why I went with the LLC. Okay.
All right.
Been enlightened tonight.
Was it multiple questions that you had, or did we get them all?
That was everything. I'm trying to think, did I have anything else? I'll let somebody else, and I'm still on that last thing that you put up. I'm on that.
If you need, if you got something else, just come on back. Mr. Stone, I see your hand up, sir. You got a question?
Yes, Coach. A quick question. So for the 2024 tax season, will I need a EIN number?
No, if you did not have an EIN and you were not set up as a business, the company is going to pay you for your with your social security number via 1099, as long as you made over $600. And you're gonna file that with your taxes. If you decide to switch or, start a separate business and everything else and put that under EIN number, once you make $600, and this is not with Green Organics, this is with every company out there. Once you make $600, then they will send you out a 1099 in that, and you can, utilize all of that to further expand your tax breaks and different things like that.
Okay, cool. One other question.
Sure.
Can I please get a digital copy of the PPP of your presentation? PowerPoint presentation?
I don't normally give out my PowerPoint, bro. For you to call me out in public in front of everybody and do that, but we'll work on it.
Okay. I'll send you a dog, Bob.
All right, no problem. All right. Who else we got? We got Mr. Tommy himself. What's going on, sir?
Hey, Coach, I appreciate that. But I think Greta was in front of me, and I have to apologize. For some reason or another, my video went out, and I can't get it to come back on. It keeps telling me I'm using it in another app, but I've closed all the other apps, so I don't know. But
Okay.
I'll go after Greta, sir, because she had her hand up before I did.
All right, Greta, it's on you.
Okay. So you have your business with Green Organics and you die and say, like, I want one of my children to take it over. Do you, you set them up as the beneficiary, but how does it work with Green Organics? How do they change the names and stuff?
So if you're set up as under the personal account, with your name and social security, first of all, it can be an email or through the a chat that can be sent. But here's the thing, Greta, God forbid something happened to you. We're going to say yesterday, because I don't want to speak things into existence. So something happened to you yesterday, right? And 5-6 months from now, your business is still earning money, right? Your auto ship is paid. And here's the great thing, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to also say this. As long as you're making enough money, the company takes your auto ship from your profits and not your pockets, ladies and gentlemen. So it's another reason we all want to, when you get your commissions up and everything else, so that your auto ships are automatically deducted and you're not paying anything. So let's just say that was your case. Let's say your auto ship is, for number's sake, $50 a month, and you are making $300 a month, right? So you're netting $250 a month. If I did the math right. So as long as, again, like I said, if they have access to your account, your pay quicker, and your if they're set up as a POD or anything like that, then they can still manage the money. The company still keeps paying.
I thought you were supposed to be going to bed now.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's mute that out. So the company will actually still keep paying. They're not going to stop paying that account just because something happened to you yesterday, if that makes sense. So that's why I was saying you want to make sure that whoever you designate, whoever you want to have access, has access to everything. If it's set up as a business, then the business is designed to outlive you. Like we saw Sam Walton, Ray Kroc, all of them are not here. The business has outlived them. The business is still earning money. People are still getting paid. And so the business will still continue to earn money, and you can have set up in your will of trust. I leave my business to, my son, my husband, whoever the case is, and they can continue running it business as normal, business as usual. But again, the other scenario is if you wanted this to happen or they decided to happen, they can send a message in, an email into corporate saying, hey, it's with great regret, we want to announce, the passing of our mother or whoever, just to everybody. Can we reset the information, the name and all of that other stuff? And I'm sure corporate will work, with that and everything else. But when it's set up as a business, you don't even have to go through all of that extra. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, Tommy, you up, sir?
All right, so mine is also kind of a two-part question, Coach. Part one being, you said and it's known that if you make up to or over $600, you're going to get a 1099. At what point amount of income do you recommend for people to actually start filing taxes? And let me give you a little bit of background on why I asked that question. With the exception of Green Organics, all of my income is non-taxable. So I have not personally filed taxes in quite some time. So I know that I'm supposed to file for taxes, but is it really worth, let's say I only made $5,000 this year on documented, or last year rather. Is it really worth going through the motions to file the taxes with all the deductions and everything that are available with a home-based business?
Absolutely. See, here's the thing. Once you earn that 600 or more, like I said, corporate is required by law to send out a 1099. And it's not just going to you, it's going to the federal government as well. So they're going to expect for you to pay money that you've earned, because they have documentation saying, hey, it just said Green Organics just paid you $5,000 and you owe us taxes on this money, because they don't take taxes out the money that they give us. However, because you own a business, you can now say, well, yeah, they paid me $5,000, but I spent $5,000 in business expenses, right? So I spent $1,000 to go to Orlando, another $1,000 to go to the Dallas, boot camp, and here's my documentation. Here's the hotel bills. Here's my flights and all that other stuff. I spent $1,000 on product. So I didn't earn any money, and that zeroes out your liability. So now you don't owe the government any money.
Tracking.
And for those of you that still have a job and everything else, you're not like me or Tommy where you're just 1099. Let's say you and again, consult your tax professionals. But let's say you made, I don't know, for number's sake, $50,000, right? And you're now able to claim all of these deductions, and you claim $20,000 in business deductions. They took out of your taxes for your job, taxes for $50,000. What it's going to do, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to bump up your refunds through the roof. So they're going to owe you money because you had $20,000 in business deductions. Again, I had to write off my dog, the grooming. I had to write off, a portion of my mortgage. My mortgage is $2,000 a month, and I say that I use 50% of my home for business purposes, because what you may call a living room is my presentation room. what you may call a kitchen, or watch this, a dining room is my waiting area. And then I have my home office. I have one downstairs. I have one upstairs. 50% of my home is used for business expenses. That means that's 50% of the mortgage that I get to write off, 50% of the electricity, 50% of the gas. So guys, what I'm telling you is, when you are a business owner, you really get to boost your tax deductions legally and increase the refund that you get because you were smart enough to own. And that's why I said any well-qualified tax professional will tell you a home-based business is the best tax strategy that anybody can have. So did that answer your question, though, Tommy? So yeah, you technically, they're gonna automatically report it to the government. The government is gonna be looking for you to pay taxes, but now you can say, listen, I got all these expenses and these business deductions, so it's zeroed out. I don't owe you guys anything. As a matter of fact, y'all owe me.
Yeah, Roger, you answered the question, Coach. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Perfect. No problem. No problem. All right, Gwen, what's going on, Miss Gwen? Unmute yourself.
Hey, everybody. I think I have a two-part question. I have an
Sure,
LLC. I have an LLC as well, and I never included HBN or Golden Sana on that business. Do I need to do that?
So first question is, where you issued a 1099, did you make over $600 in the business?
I did not.
Okay, then you don't have to report anything. But the second
Okay.
part to that is, again, remember I said, sole proprietorships, you can just file, I forget the numbers because I'm not a tax professional, but you can add that in with your personal taxes and put your deductions in and all that other stuff. And
I
it just
did that.
increases everything. With an
I did
LLC
that.
though, there's different ways you can file, and again, consult a certified tax professional on the best ways for you to file. But if you did not put your business through LLC, you didn't sign up with Green Organics as the LLC, or your business, your LLC is not earned, X amount of dollars, then they're not really looking for. Well, actually, with an LLC, I think they might. Again, consult your tax professional. But you're not liable for anything, because again, if nothing is being reported to the government, they're not going to know about it.
Okay, because I do file my taxes.
Okay. Good.
And I have someone who does it for me. She does my business and my personal one that I do as well. But I'm
Okay.
curious now because I had got something in my email about the beneficial ownership information. Have you heard about that? They call it a BOI.
Yes, that's for LLCs, I believe. And I don't know if it's for corporations, but it's for LLC, which is supposedly another now filing that y'all are supposed to do. I say y'all because mine's is set up as a sole proprietorship. But LLCs, I know, I can't remember if corps are incorporated in that as well. But yes, it's something else that they're looking to collect on as well. So I
But
have seen it.
I thought they passed a law like in December saying that we didn't have to do that.
I just started seeing information that those laws were reversed, and now you do have to. So again, whoever set up your LLC and a certified tax professional will be best in giving you those types of answers. But yes, I did start seeing that type of information, and but I didn't pay too much attention to it because it didn't apply to me personally. But yes, I am aware of that. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Dee Dee, I saw you saw something. You said something in the chat. It's the law says the average business takes 5 years to make a profit. It just so happens in network marketing, it's usually not that long. Right? Like we can be in profit. We can be in profit next week, right? But the average business does take 5 years, so they do give you 5 years of losses before they start looking and like this is not a business you're running. This is a hobby. But yes, you 5 years has been not 3 years, but it's been 5 years where they say you could claim a whole bunch of losses because that's average. It takes the average business many, many years to get in profit because average businesses are, overhead and employees and furniture and different things like that. And so, yeah, it can take a long time to get in profit. We don't have all of those, normal business expenditures. And so we can get in profit a lot faster. But yeah, and I'm not the tax professional, but run your losses up for as long as you can. I do, but I document everything. And if you're interested, I have a software that I use. You can reach out to me, via Messenger or what have you. If you're interested in the software that I use, and it tracks everything for me. It tracks all of my expenditures, and I get to say this is personal, this is business. Here's my mileage, and calculates everything and spits out a report. I give that to my accountant, every year, and I'm like, go for it. And it just simplifies my life. So if you're interested in something like that, ladies and gentlemen, by all means, you can reach out to me through Messenger, and I'll send you a link for that. All right, Miss Stephanie Jenkins, what you got going on, young lady?
Okay. I think you might have answered Tanya's because I had just contacted Because everybody was on Facebook talking about that BOI, and I'm freaking out. Like, I can't be paying these people no $500 every day. So I called my tax person, and he said, because I have a sole proprietorship, I'm good.
Mhm.
It won't affect me.
Right. But if you have an LLC,
I have an LLC. I work up under my LLC, but I have a sole proprietorship. That's my tax ID number for my business.
well, your sole proprietorship and LLC is the business structure that you have.
Okay, that's what I got. Yeah.
But it's two different things though, honey.
Okay,
So you need to find out, do you have an actual limited liability corporation and you have the articles of incorporation and all that other stuff, or do you have like a business certificate and you set up as a sole proprietorship?
well, he's been doing my taxes, and I'll be getting money back. I mean, he's a professional, so he know what I got. That's just, he knows what I have.
Okay.
I'm
All
good.
right.
I'm
All
good. I'm
All
good.
right, good stuff.
And then another thing with the will you were talking about also, I was told like you may have people coming out the woodworks that you don't want. If you give them $1, they can't contest it. Have you heard that?
No, I have not heard that.
Yeah,
So
if you leave them $1, they cannot contest. But if you do a living trust, then you don't have that problem.
right. Yeah, I've never heard that. And that's not to say that it's not true. I'm just answering the question and saying I don't know anything about that. But I know people, especially greedy people. Oh, you know what? That may not be fair. I just know people will come out the woodwork and start trying to claim things when
Right.
when this type of things happen, and it causes a lot of infighting in families, unfortunately, things like that. So it's always best to have your stuff documented the way that you want it, so that it can't be contested.
Okay, and one more, and I'll be done.
Go ahead.
Green Organic keeps asking me under the under the Go Desana side for the tax form, the W-9. Do I have to fill that out every year? I mean,
I don't believe you have to fill it out every year, but
right. But they asking me again, and
I mean, just fill it out.
I did, and they still won't release my commission. And I've sent support tickets. I know that's not your field, but
Right.
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, if you filled out the 1099 for the for the current or now
I've sent
nowadays
it
probably
like
the
3
past
times.
year, I mean not the W9,
The W-9.
then it's
And isn't
you
Green
shouldn't have no
Organic?
problems.
Isn't Green Organic Green Organic? I mean,
Yes, it is, but
so they
but we
released
do
my
have two.
HB.
We have two different companies, and you have
Okay.
two different signups. And some people may have signed up one way under Go Desana and one way under HBN. So you're still going to probably have to do two separate W-9s.
Okay.
Okay. But once you send it in, as long as everything matches, for instance, some of y'all may get this type of information, go get you an EIN tonight, and then fill out your W-9 tomorrow and say, I want everything paid in my business name. But when you signed up, you had everything in your Social Security. It's not matching in their system. No, they're not going to release stuff.
I've never used my Social Security.
Look, I don't know. I'm just, I'm
right. No, I get you.
Giving some ideas on, maybe why. So just make sure that everything matches. And customer service is usually clear about communicating, what it is they may need. So just by all means say, hey, W-9, W-9 was sent on this date. Still waiting for my commissions to be released. Can you tell me what the holdup is or whatever the case is? And deal with customer service, find that out. Like you said, that's not my side. I'm just like you.
Thanks, Coach. Good to see you too.
No problem. Thank you. All right, Miss Linda, you up?
Amanda?
Yes, Miss Amanda. Sorry, what you got?
I can hear you good. Well, this is the first I heard of a
BIO or BOI? What is it
Yes.
about with the LLC? I have a LLC, so I just
Uh,
use the same EIN number for both.
Um, again, I would definitely contact whoever does your taxes, and or whoever set up your LLC for more information. And you can Google that information as well. Just be careful where you get the information from. Don't pay nobody for nothing. Because I can't tell you exactly where it comes from, but I know because I am in business and I do get, different business things and stuff comes across my desk. I have seen, and it's been going back and forth. Yeah, you got to sign it or you got to do it. Oh no, they waived it for the year. But I haven't followed it as closely because I never did the LLC. So do your research, but it's some kind of fee or something that LLCs are supposed to complete. And if you don't, there's supposed to be like a penalty of like $500 a day that you don't do it or something like that. So they're like scaring people into making sure that those forms are completed. This is the government always wants their money.
So the BIO, what is it called? BIO or BOI?
BOI. Believe it
BOI.
is. Yeah.
It's
If you're familiar and you got the LLC information, just put it in the chat and make sure I'm correct in saying if it's BOI or if you want to come on and unmute yourself. But yeah, I believe it was BOI.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
It's
Anybody else?
BOI.
Hey, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach
Yes.
Seymour has his hand up in the chat.
Okay. Seymour is my secret expert on this stuff too. Seymour and I have both been in business for many, many years. He's very, very familiar with a lot of the tax benefits, breaks, and everything else. So Seymour, what you got, my brother? I know you was going off in the chat helping the people while I couldn't talk. So thank you for that, first of all. But what's going on with you this evening, sir?
I'm doing great, my brother.
Good, good.
What I wanted was to say is like I had mentioned this before, but if you don't have this book, go to Amazon and get it. And there's a new version, but a lot of the information is still like it is in this one. Right?
Yes, sir. Keep it. I tell all my partners got that book.
And just go through it, highlight stuff that you see that is very important for you. Another thing, if you have kids that live with you that's under the age of 18, pay your kids to help you with your business, because I got to go back and see what the total is for that. I want to say it's like 12,500 for the year that you don't have to pay taxes on, or they don't have to pay taxes on it because that's the standard, whatever the standard deduction is, and you get to write that tax off. So, for example, with my grandkids, that's what they are my CEOs for all my business. So they get an allowance when I ain't gonna say an allowance, they get money put into a bank account that I set up for them as a custodial, and then that money goes into their account every month. Their parents can use that money for school supplies, sport events, whatever the case may be. You get to write that off for each individual. So if you, in my case, 4 grandkids, that's 12,000. I do 12,000 even for each one. For the year, that's 12,000 times 4 that I get to write off on my taxes. And all you have to do is have something on file showing how they help. It's not physical work they might be doing. They wear T-shirts that advertise the business. Okay. And for example, with my credit repair company, it says TGB Credit Solutions, Jeremiah Greenwich Blake, CEO. And then in the back, you don't have to live with bad credit, my website. And the same with the others, for my Green Organics, for HBN, for Go Designer, and for my financial strategy company. They all CEOs for those companies. And if you look for a perfect example, you always see commercials with Pampers, with these babies crawling around wearing Pampers. Those babies get paid to do that. Okay? Because that's what they're advertising, the pamper. They're advertising the pull-ups, So take advantage of that. If you have kids, pay them. Make sure you have documentation showing what they do, for example. Another perfect example with my second grandson. He lived with me, so I used to do a lot of pictures with him. He'll have his shirt on, he'd be playing on his tablet. But because I'm good with graphics, I'll take that picture of him playing with his tablet. I'll go and I decorate it where it looked like he's standing in the office with my business name on that window. And he's standing between there looking at it. And then he's saying a little caption above the head saying, I'm reviewing your credit repair. And it looks like you need to get in touch with my grandpa to get your credit fixed. That's posts on Facebook. So guess what? Facebook gives you memories, right? That's proof right there that he's doing business for you. So take advantage of this. All that information is right in here. If you're married and you have an office in your home and your spouse gets you some flowers for Valentine's Days, where do you put those roses at? In the office. When you go to that rose is it's a write-off. When you go to a doctor's office, you see flower arrangements in there. That's a write-off. Okay?
Sure.
Taxes is not made for rich people. It's made for people with a business.
It's made for business owners. I told y'all 2 tax systems, ladies and gentlemen. So you're in a very unique place by being in business with us here at Green Organics, man.
Because I'm saying, and I mean like Coach Sonic just said earlier, don't have your office in your bedroom. Pick the largest location in the home, because when you divide that square footage by the square footage of your home, that's the percentage that you get to write off on your mortgage, electric, water, gas. If somebody come and cut your lawn, they're not cutting the lawn to your home, they're cutting the lawn to your office building.
Facts.
Okay?
Facts.
Your car note is not considered part of a tax write-off, but the interest that you pay, because the interest comes out your pocket on that loan. Okay? Your tires, the mileage on your car, the gas. But you can't just use all 3. You have to pick the one that's going to be better, beneficial out of those 3. For the tax.
Pick the most expensive one.
Right. So if your mileage, which you're paying 70 cents per mile for the year, is higher than what you paid in gas or what you paid for your for maintenance, use the mileage. If maintenance was higher, if the gas was higher, whichever one is the most expensive is the one that you'll be writing off, because you can't double dip. Yeah, you can't double dip.
Can you show the book again?
The book is called 475 Tax Deductions for Businesses and Self-Employed Individuals. You can find the latest installment and the latest copy, because they update it every year, on Amazon.com.
Right, and it's over 1,000 now, so it's like 1,001, I believe.
So by all means, pick up that book, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, purchasing the book is a write-off as well. Boom.
Bingo. You can write your lifestyle off. Okay.
100%.
Kameroff.
It's by Bernard Kameroff.
Yeah, Kameroff. Okay.
Yep.
And he's a CPA.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're very, very welcome.
You can write your lifestyle off if you do it the right way. And if you think about it, these different codes, 401k, W-2, W-4, W-9, all those are tax codes. Okay, they are tax codes. So take advantage of what we have on what you have in hand, because I'm telling you, you can live the same. And the next thing that Coach Sonic said at the beginning, start surrounding yourself with people that have already been successful. If I go in my phone book and click on my phone and I go into search and I search contacts and I type in the word millionaire, I've got 25 millionaires in my phone book that I can get on the phone and talk to on a daily basis if I want to. Most people don't even have one. So start surrounding. I'm not telling you to change your friends, but start surrounding yourself with people that are successful, people that other people listen to. And that will start guiding you to be the leader that you will follow.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Back to you, Coach.
Hey, man, listen, I'm just glad I got somebody here to to second that stuff, man. You know, Seymour and I have been rocking together for a few years, man. I respect that gentleman highly, but I also know that our vision and our knowledge and our expertise and experience lines up. And everything that he said was 100% facts, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to overload y'all because I didn't want to make this a tax call, but definitely, everything he said was spot on. And so it's important to do your research. Don't just talk to your friend to do your business. No, get you a well-qualified tax preparer that specializes in business tax, and they're able to pull out the best ones are able to pull out deductions that you may have. Do you have any magazine subscriptions? Do you pay for this? Yeah, I do. I didn't even know. I can write that off too. Yeah, you absolutely can. So get the most qualified individuals, not just your cousin or your friend. Some of y'all been doing your taxes yourselves for years and cheating yourself out of thousands of dollars because that's not your expertise. And I get it. I'm saving $400 or $500. By the way, your tax preparer fees write off as well. So, all right. Any other questions before we dismiss this call?
Also, one quick thing. In your office, the furniture that you have in that office that you purchase for your office, the TVs, whatever it might be in that office, that's a write-off also. Okay, so just like I said, get that book, get with a professional CPA that can tell you what is what and what you can't write off. And basically, like I said earlier, you can write your lifestyle off if you know what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, and somebody was nice enough to go ahead and put, Miss Greta, thank you, put a screenshot of the book in the chat as well. So, anybody else? Any other questions, comments, or concerns? All right, well, listen, I got 10:16 Eastern on my clock. I don't want to be, well, we're gonna stop the recording, ladies and gentlemen. So for those that are here live, thank you, and stand by really quick because I do have some announcements. And for those watching the recording, don't miss the next one. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you.